The war in Ukraine has reached a critical point. There's a lot going on all fronts. First, you may have heard about Kursk. That's Russian territory that Ukrainian forces invaded in a shock offensive on August 6. This is the first time since World War II that Russian territory has been occupied by a foreign force. The Kursk invasion grabbed headlines and cheered Ukrainians at home, but has so far failed to achieve what Kyiv was expecting from Moscow. The Ukrainian government was trying to get Putin to move troops away from the eastern front line to Kursk. It was all a bluff, and Putin didn't fall for it. That's because Ukrainian troops and civilians in the east are desperate. The Donetsk front could be about to burst open, as Ukrainians are under immense pressure, outnumbered by Russians whose generals don't spare their soldiers in massive assaults that are known as meat marches. The main city under threat is Pokrovsk and the industrial urban area around it. Russian troops are less than 10 kilometers east of it. Ukrainian civilians are furious, and not just at Moscow but at Kyiv too. They say that all those troops their President Zelenskyy sent to his headline-grabbing Kursk incursion, they should have been sent to Donetsk to stop the front line from collapsing. And speaking of Zelenskyy, he just fired ministers and hired a new cabinet amid allegations of incompetence and corruption. According to him, his government needs new energy. At the same time, Zelenskyy wants new weapons too. Specifically, he wants the US to give him permission to use its weapons to strike targets deep inside Russia, such as military airports or plants that work in shifts to churn out new missiles and drones. The US began providing Ukraine with long-range ballistic missiles earlier this year, but with certain rules attached. The missiles can't actually be used to strike inside Russia. They can only be used to target Russian troops who have invaded sovereign Ukrainian territory. We may hear people cheering on Ukraine's Kursk offensive, but Russian ground advances in the east and attacks from the air are posing a serious threat.